Okay, hello, this is Jerry Jenkins. This is a short video to show you how to install the newest version of Python in Windows 10 and also the most popular IDE for Python, which is PyCharm. We'll be using these in the class I teach. So let's start. I'm in Windows 10 right here, and I've already gone to python.org, and this is where you get Python and you can get documentation and information about Python. Go ahead and click hover over downloads, and you should see, there it is, a couple buttons come up, and you want to click on Python 3.6, and this will start your download for whatever operating system you're in. We're going through the Windows 10, but the steps are going to be the same in whatever you're in. Go ahead and hit save. It'll start the download. Go ahead and hit run. It's going to start running. This is where it's going to install it, right here. It's in the users directory under your account name, and it's in usually a hidden folder from the Finder. But that's where it's going to install. It also includes a program called idle, which we're going to show you. I like to add it to the path, so if I use PowerShell or the command prompt, I can type Python directly from there. So go ahead and click this, and go ahead and hit install now. I'll give it permission to do that from Windows. Don't worry, because it says 32-bit, and you might have a 64-bit operating system. Both 32-bit and 64-bit Python is available, but there's no real reason to use a 64-bit operating system if you're just a beginner in Python. The 64-bit version of Python does allow you to use an incredible lot more memory, but you probably don't have that much memory installed as a student. Okay, it's all done. It was successful. So we're just going to close this, and I'm going to show you how to test that it was installed correctly. So we're going to go to your start menu, and you'll see idle, I-D-L-E. If you don't see this listed, you can just type IDLE in Windows 10 or Windows 8 will find it. And we're going to open it up. And once it's open, this basically verifies that Python is working if this open. So it says Python 3.60. It's opened up Python. We can just type in a number like 5, and it just echoes out 5, and that basically shows us it's running Python. So we gave it a literal number 5 in a programming language, and it just gave us back what we typed in. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and we're going to go on to installing PyCharm. Now PyCharm is by a company called JetBrains. It's a complete IDE like Visual Studio. I'm just going to search for it. PyCharm. So here's the official site. Go there. And we're going to hit download now. Now there are two versions. This is a free version. It's called the community version or CE version. And there's a professional version, which you can apply for as a student if you have an email from a college to download. I've found there's nothing I need in the professional version, even for most Python I do. And for class, all we need is community edition or a beginner. So we're going to go ahead and download this. It's going to take longer to download than Python did. So let's go ahead and run and give it permission to install here. And we're going to hit next and next. Now here you can create a shortcut on your desktop, and but one thing you might want to do is make this file association. All Python files where you actually type a program end in .py, just like Java files end in .java, and C++ files end in, I think it's CPP. So go ahead and click this, and hit next, and then install. And go ahead and hit finish, or if you want to run it right away, you can click this. But normally we would run it from the start menu, and here it is. This is the recently added list. So if it doesn't show up here, again, you might have to search for PyCharm. So we're going to go ahead and start it here. First time it starts, it asks if you want to import from a previous version, which we aren't. We don't have a previous version, so we just say OK. Okay, and we're going to just accept this dialog here, say OK. Now, there's some setup we're going to do before we start. Whenever you first start up PyCharm, if you haven't been working with a project or you have no project open, you get this welcome screen. And the welcome screen allows you to create a new project, which is a folder that's going to contain some program you're working on, which may be multiple files, or you can open an existing project. And we're going to go to Configure and go to Settings, and there's one important setting that you have to tell PyCharm, so it applies to all projects you do it at this phase. You go to where it says Project Interpreter. This is what version of Python we want to use. Now, we've only installed one version, but PyCharm doesn't know that. For technical reasons, you may have multiple versions on your computer. So we're just going to pull this down and choose this here. And you notice this is where we installed Python. And then hit OK. It's going to set up everything it needs to know about the interpreter that you've just hooked it up to. Now we do this here at this welcome screen because now you won't have to do it every project you create. If you don't do this step, it's going to ask you every time you create a project what interpreter you want to use. So now we're going to create a new project, and we'll show you actually running a program. Now it's going to pick this folder, PyCharm projects, which it created in your home directory. So this is my home directory, G Jenkins. So all you have to do is change the word untitled to the name of your project. Now you can put projects there, but you can put them anywhere. You can put them on another disk drive. You can put them on a USB drive. You can put them in documents. So you can use this to click and choose another location for your project, but the project itself is going to be a folder at that location. So the last thing in this path here is the name of your project. So we're just going to call it the Hello project, which is traditional to have a program that says hello. And we'll say create. Now it's loading the project. You'll notice down here it says scanning for files to index. When you first set up a new project, it scans it, or if you open up an existing project it hasn't seen before. So some things it will not let you do until you get that done. But it works in the background, so you don't have to worry about it. This always shows up when you first open a project. It's called the tip of the day. It has things that will familiarize you with the features. Every time it opens, it gives you a random tip. So you can say next tip, you can go back to a tip, you can read about different features of this IDE. We're going to be using some very simple features in class. I recommend leaving this on. In fact, I don't know where to turn it back off if you say don't show the tips, but I'm sure it's in the settings somewhere. So we're just going to close this. This is our project. We want to make a file, so I'm going to right click on the name of the project and say new Python file. That's going to create a program file. We're just going to call it hello. It's going to automatically put the extension .py onto it. And in the file we can say program, let's see, print hello. And if we want to run it, you just right click, and it won't run yet because it's still indexing, so we have to wait for this to finish. Okay, so that's done. Now we can right click, and what we're looking for is run and the name of our file, and notice there's also debug. We're going to do run. It's going to run this program, and it opens up a window here and says hello right here. So this is the name of the file it ran. It actually ran this. Here's the Python program. interpreter, and this is the file that ran. You can actually copy this line. I'll show you this. And, copy it, and I could open up PowerShell. I just typed in the word power, or you could type in CMD to open up the old command line. There we go. So it tells us where we are. So I'm going to paste in that with Control V. Oops, there we go. And you'll see it put that in there, and we're going to hit enter, and it'll run that program. It says hello. So we've now run Python from the command line. Now because we checked that thing to include the path, we can just type the word Python, and then this part here. So we're in PyCharm, so I have to type it in. PyCharm projects, and then hello project, and then hello.py. So this is actually the Python interpreter, and then this is where our project is. Projects, hello, and this is from G. Jenkins. So this completes the path to find the folder hello, which is the project, and this is the actual file we want to run, and so that actually runs the program. So that's enough. We've shown you how to type programs in idle and start that, how to install Python and PyCharm and run a program in PyCharm, and if you're so inclined, how to run it in the PowerShell.